Oh boy. I always told you can never turn one of these over, but I don't know. I'd say that's probably pretty close. First things first for today, we're going to put this hose on, which it goes through that hole in the dash there to, yeah, maybe you can see it right there, that shiny fitting, then it goes to the steering. So even this one here, a non-mechanical guy like me can even do, even though I absolutely hate messing with greasy, oily hoses. But if you own, run, or have any kind of skidders or logging equipment, it's something you better get used to. Lord knows I've changed a bunch of them over the years. I used to think the answer to equipment problems was to have more equipment. That is not really a solution to anything but just more headache. So we'll get this hose put on real quick, and we'll fire this guy up, let it warm up. We'll have to fill it back up with hydraulic oil because I'm sure it's low quite a bit. We'll go through and grease, of course, check oil before we fire it up. And then Dad's, oh, here comes Dad. I start to say he's around here somewhere. He's kind of see him there behind the skid steer creeping along. So we're going to cut along this little ridge this morning, or he will. He'll start doing that. And then, of course, I'll work on this. We're up and running, leak-free. It always tests my patience, being a mechanic. Seriously, I don't know how you guys that are mechanics do it, because I just don't have the patience, nor do I have the skills to do it, but I definitely don't have the patience. There's a reason why we don't do any filming when I'm mechanicking, because it'd be just a continuous bleep from all the bad words I'm probably saying. Anyway, I'm going to gas up my saw, get it ready to go. I think I've already heard 3 or 4 hit the ground here from what Dad's doing. He makes pretty short work of them. We'll go through there and we'll fish them out. I'm going to check the fuel level of this thing real quick. I didn't do that. I think we're still good on fuel, but we might go ahead and top her off anyway. I really don't think we'll put in another long day. I don't think we'll have to put in another long day like we did yesterday with the skidder anyway. We're going to put a new choker on today too. We've got one here that see, it's really getting kinked and curled and swirled up. It just makes it harder to get under logs a lot of times. So anytime they start getting real kinked and squirrely, I usually put a new one on. It just kind of speeds up everything. The less time you got to spend fighting choker cables to get under logs, the better off you are. So I'll probably have to have 2 hands to do this here. They're pretty easy to take on and off. I say they're pretty easy until I go to do one, and then it'll be a nightmare. Yeah, nightmare. See how swirled and kinked it is. So this end curled up. So usually you can get quite a bit of use out of them. And I usually save them back, even the bad ones like that, because there's times where you never know you're going to need some extra length on your main line. Pulling trees you just can't get to reach, so they go on a lot easier than they come off, which is a problem too sometimes, because they will come off as you're going through the woods. Ready to go. downside to chokers is when it's cold, they, well, anytime they get caked full of mud, but when it's cold, that mud freezes in there. And you can beat on it, you can beat on it, you can beat on it, and you can't ever get it out. It's froze so hard, so we're gonna speed up the thawing process here. Put this next to the exhaust and get her thawed out. That way we can drag two at a time, speed things up on that end. Trimming up his little getaway path in case he's got to make a run for it. Something he taught me early on in logging when I first started running the saw. Anytime you cut a tree, you always better make sure you got a good clear path for escape if things go wrong. Trim it up, make sure there's no debris there, nothing you're going to get hung on, snagged on. Then again, when I went through the MFPA logger certification classes, that was a big thing we talked on there as well. Now, people ask us about chain chokers and why we don't use them. Honestly, don't know much about them. They might be the real deal. Grew up using cables. That's what I still use today. I'm not real big on running cable skidders or any skidders anymore for that matter. Especially when you do a lot of the cutting and dragging yourself, it seems to me like you just wear yourself out more running a cable machine, not to mention the extra time. And don't get me wrong, they have their place. There's times where that's the only way we can log is with a cable unit, especially working up on the bluffs along the Missouri River, places like that. And even some of the steeper terrain we have around here. But mainly for what we do, cutting walnut in these open areas, fairly open areas, rolling hills, a grapple's the only way to go. Just it speeds things up. And if you're like Dad and me, you know, when I'm doing all the dragging and a lot of the cutting, it's nice to be on that grapple skidder after a day of cutting, or if you're cutting and dragging as you go, you just conserve a lot more energy. But we'll always have a cable skidder or two in our arsenal because they definitely have their place. pretty cool right here, little rock outcropping. Kind of just a little pool. I'm sure it's probably a fairly deep little pool. A little bend in the creek here. You got another little ditch that runs in right in there. Drainage from off the hill. Nice little creek. It's the last tree up this direction. Pretty close to the property lines. You can see right there, everything on the other side's conservation area. There's a really good walnut on the conservation. They're just right over there. I don't even like to look over there. It just upsets me. It just upsets me knowing they're never going to get cut and just going to go there and waste away. Anyway, we'll get this one cut. I'm going to try to put it right on top of this hedge tree right here. That's where I'd like to go with it. Kind of on this side. Maybe smash that little hedge there. Main thing is we don't want it to go over there, which I don't think we'll have a problem there. Bingo. Right where we needed it. That stump there, some people are probably going to ask why we didn't dig it. I don't think we could have dug it. Really don't. This backside, yeah, there's a lot showing here, obviously, but on the front, it's already, the roots are already starting to come out. I really don't think we could have dug down on that. I could be wrong. I don't know, but I don't think we could have. So that's why we didn't. It's a good tree, it is, but it's not a super big tree, something that generally you'd want to dig on. It all goes back to, you know, the kind of the formula I was talking about of your time and the money in the tree. Is it worth it? Is it a gain for everybody? If it's not a gain for everybody, you really can't justify doing it. and got the bucket real quick off the trailer. Across the creek here again. I think before we leave, I'm going to do a little work on this crossing for the landowners. Get it to where it's a little more user friendly, because you can cross it, but it's rough. Now what we're doing here, we're going to put a little dirt on the back side of this tree, because the back side's down here in a pretty good ditch, and it's not a real good place to have to stand to cut it. So we're going to put a little dirt down there, and this is another one where I really don't think you could have dug down on it, because you can see that one spur root coming out. Whoop, wrong way. Right there. When you see those spurs start coming out, that's usually a pretty good sign you're there at the stump of the tree, like where the tap roots and other roots start going out. So another reason why you got to pick and choose your battles on your digging. So I'm gonna get a little dirt. I'm gonna have to go around here, and we're gonna put down there to give us a little platform to stand on so we can get that one cut. Now before we do some cleanup on the tops here, I want to get these logs sorted out. Space just right. Just like so. Pretty good pile of logs. OCD about this stuff in a way. I want them just got them all laid out. Pretty good little pile of logs. Not bad for about a day and a half. I'm guessing 7,200, 7,300 feet in that pile. That's what I'm guessing is there. Some pretty good sized logs there. They'll keep the average high on the footage. Now we're going to switch over to the bucket and start doing some cleanup. Rose bushes, stuff like that down here along the base of this. So coming in here with the bucket, doing a good sweep, we can get rid of a lot of that as well. We'll come in here, put the bucket down, give this a little more push back up in here, kind of get it in there a little tighter. Bigger old dead weeds are. These are areas where they really haven't brush hogged or mowed in the last several years due to just these things start taking over, and you get in here where there's trees and outcrop, won't allow you to get in there and mow. So we can come in here just like that, kind of push a lot of this stuff out of the way, try to reclaim it for them. Take these couple heads down here. And we'll just come in with the bucket, pop them roots. It's after 5. We've got all of our cleanup of the skid steer done. So now, just to be ready for in the morning, we're going to take the skidder on over here to the next place we're going to cut. Then I'll walk back and get my truck. Cap's pretty new. All right, this is where we'll start in the morning. I figured I might as well do this now. I'm real big on just getting it out of the way, having it done and over with. That way in the morning, we'll be here ready to work. It's about maybe 1.25 mile walk back here to where my pickup is. So not too bad. Easy walk down the, I guess they call this a county road. I don't mind a little walk every now and then. It's a pretty good looking pile of logs, isn't it? Those few trees weren't there in the way. Get a real good overview of that. Yeah, not too bad for a day and a half. And really, probably not even that total. This whole hillside all slicked off. There she is. Not too bad. Who this is. Kind of a little bit of everything today, wasn't there? Some days you just do it all. When you're a small operation like just me and Dad, you got to be ready to do it all any given day. You got to be versatile. Just like today, anywhere from dragging logs to the skidder, cutting timber, cleaning up with the skid steer, getting the layout ready for the skid steer. It's just part of it. I mean, that's why there's so many of these long days. It's usually 5 o'clock when I leave the house, and a lot of times it's upwards of 7 o'clock at night before I get home. But I wouldn't change it for anything. But yeah, pretty good layout. Happy with that. Tomorrow we'll get the wraps on this side of the farm over here in this area. Like I said, it's a huge farm, so we'll get that done tomorrow. Not too many trees, 12, 15, I'm not really sure. I'm not sure on the total count. We'll get those all cut, laid out, bucked up. Thursday, I've actually got to do a little traveling Thursday. I've got to go up to Higginsville, Missouri to look at some timber. So be on the road Thursday, then be back out here Friday. As far as what next week looks like, I know I'm getting ahead of myself because it's only Tuesday, but I think we'll be here pretty close in the area working. So, guys, thank you so much. I can't tell you how much it means to me and Dad. You guys subscribing, following along the channel, commenting. Means the world. I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to go to try to find supper for me and Tipsy. I'm sure she's at home waiting, being all growly because I'm not there with anything to eat. Guys, thank you so much. See you tomorrow. Hey guys, if you like what you see, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to our channel for all of our latest videos.